Hello guys, and welcome to another post-match review of match day 29 in the Premier League, or should I say match day 30 for us now. Anyways guys, there have been some interesting results. Manchester United's winning streak comes to an end finally. Red Devils, waiting happen. Anyways guys, let's just go through the games that happened both yesterday Tuesday and today Wednesday. Now Liverpool obviously were one of the big teams that played yesterday against Wolves. You see this Wolves team, you have to be very, very careful of them, especially if you're one of the big sides that is still going to face them. I'm not sure if there's still any other big team that will face them now, and I'm talking of teams in the top 5 obviously. I'm not sure. I'm not certain, especially because of Aston Villa, but the likes of Arsenal, Man U, Chelsea, Man City, yeah, I think they've all faced them already for the second fixtures, either away or home. But yeah, Liverpool felt their own heartbreak yesterday. Wolves, that pain, that defeat for Liverpool will be so painful. Last minute goal. In fact, I think it was an own goal set from Gomez, because tell me how Wolves, who are close to relegation, are now showing top 5 teams Pepe. Aston Villa received their own Pepe I think at the weekend. Yes, at the weekend. And then Liverpool received their own yesterday. Hey, Father, be careful of Wolves, so may they no bite you. But guys, anyways, Liverpool unfortunately lost that game yesterday. Now, if they had won, it would have obviously sealed the top 4, top 5 fight for the Champions League spot for next season. But unfortunately, they weren't able to pick up 3 points. In fact, they weren't able to pick up any point at all, because Wolves obviously kept all 3 points to themselves yesterday. Now, that's the thing about the Premier League. That is why I always think that the Premier League is always exciting. Even though I feel like the officiating, some calls that were made were quite disappointing, but it don't happen. Liverpool unfortunately were not able to get the 3 points, as I said. But maybe the good thing for them was that Mohamed Salah scored. Yeah, because they went down. Liverpool had the first goal before Liverpool equalized through Mohamed Salah, and I think it was a very good lone goal, because honestly at that point I didn't think there was anything he could have done, but somehow he managed to get the goal. And I think Jose Sa, that's Wolves goalkeeper, has to do better. But regardless, I felt like his performance was up and down. It wasn't really good, but it wasn't exactly bad. So the fact that, sometimes a player can have a very bad performance, but when they get a goal, it just seems like they've done what they're supposed to do, especially if they're a striker. So I think that was just what summed up Mohamed Salah's performance yesterday. But unfortunately for Liverpool, they weren't able to manage the game till the end of it. And as I said, that goal, that last minute goal would have really, really broke them. Yeah, it was I think Andre Gomez who scored that goal. I felt it would have been an own goal, because Joe Gomez should have done better. But yeah, the Wolves, as I said, did what they had to do, and it seems like they still have that fight in them. I think Wolves really do have that fight in them, because they know that yes, we might be going out, but we are not going to make it easy, right? And so far they have 16 points. Nottingham Forest, who are number 17, and I'm looking at the possibility of maybe Wolves having a chance of escaping relegation. But the way I'm seeing it right now is going to be really, really difficult. But you never can tell. If they keep racking up points, anything can happen. Anyways, I think that's the main result from yesterday, with Wolves beating Liverpool. And then today, Chelsea were able to get over the line against Aston Villa after going from a goal down to win the game 4-1. Now, João Pedro hat-trick, and then Cole Palmer, I think a goal and an assist. But really, when I look at the performance all around, I don't feel like Chelsea did very well defensively. So many times Aston Villa broke them on the counter, especially because Fofana and just Chalobah were the ones at the back, and obviously, what's his name? Oli Watkins was catching him on, on the counter. In fact, at some point, they had to remove him because it seemed like he was frustrated. But the fact that they came from a goal down to winning that game 4-1 is impressive, because their last game against Arsenal, it was really, really bad. And they would have felt really disappointed that they couldn't get a point from that game, but they returned to winning ways. And now, they return above Liverpool on the table. So I think that competition for Champions League spot is still heavy. I still think, as I've always said, I think Aston Villa is the team that's going to miss out, because I don't think they have the quality of players to, keep up that pressure till the end of the season, which was what we also saw last season. So I still believe that the teams that are going to qualify to the Champions League next season are going to be Arsenal, Man City. It could now, the remaining three could be between Liverpool, Chelsea, and Manchester United. So it depends on the result. They can always switch positions, but it is definitely going to be those 5 teams. But definitely Arsenal top and Man City next, and then it can be Chelsea, Man U, Liverpool in whatever order. Those are the top 5 teams that will qualify to the Champions League. I don't think Aston Villa is going to get it done. But yeah, as I said, Aston Villa will be really disappointed. It's now back-to-back defeat for them. Don't forget that I said they lost to Wolves at the weekend, and now they've lost to Chelsea. And in the manner they did in this game, I think they played well. They were just so unlucky, especially with the goals that Chelsea scored. They were just so unlucky to be able to defend, not to be able to defend against them, right? But I think Chelsea had a very good up-team performance. Garnacho played very well. If I'm to look at it, I think the goalkeeper Jorgensen, aside from that first goal, obviously that was considered by very, very early, I think every other thing in the game, it was all right. Yeah, I think, as I said, I think it was a very good all-round performance. Malo Gusto, it was good in the game. I'm trying to see who else was okay in the game. I think those are the 3 players that did for me. Obviously, apart from João Pedro and Cole Palmer, who scored and assisted, I think Garnacho put up a very good performance. Even though I'm still not impressed with it, though I still feel like he's still not performing to the standard that I've seen him play in Manchester United. But regardless, I think he got an assist also. And as I said, Malo Gusto played very well. I think Trevor Chalobah also did amazingly well. So yeah, aside from the goalkeeper, it was a very good performance from Chelsea. Now to Arsenal, they got a 1-0 win against Brighton, and Saka getting the only goal of the game, and very early on. And I think Arsenal is just doing what they have to do right now. They're getting the results and trying to ease that pressure on themselves, because they know that they still have Man City still has a game in hand, and they still have to face Man City themselves. So definitely getting the result is what they want to do, and they've done that. They don't need to score a lot of goals. Get your 1-0 and just move on to the next game. If you can defend very well, do that. And they have good defenders. They have really, really good defenders. I think Saliba didn't even play in this game. It was Nkape, Gabriel Mahalish, I think, Timber, and I'm trying to remember who the last person is. But yeah, they got the job done. And as I said, they have very, very good defenders. So them getting that 1-0 win, that's all they have to do. They don't need to score 10 goals regardless. I know the goal difference will at some point count, but the fact is you need to get the 3 points, and that is what Arsenal is doing right now. Now to the person who is chasing them, Manchester City. They played out a 2-2 draw against Nottingham Forest. I won't lie, Nottingham Forest is one team that I know they've always given Man City a problem, either away or at home. And the fact that even Man City played at home and somehow they couldn't get 3 points in that game is still a surprise. And don't forget that Man City got the first goal through Semenyo. And should I talk about this guy? Semenyo is just something else. He has scored, I think, 7 goals and made 2 assists in the last, is it 5 or 6 games? That is impressive. Like, I don't think there's any player that they've bought in January that has performed to the standard he has performed, and how quickly he has gelled with these guys. Like, it's so impressive. Am I surprised? No, because even when he was at Bournemouth, he was a very, very good player. I felt so many times that Bournemouth was, well, they were definitely below his standard, because it felt like it was one carrying that Bournemouth team, even though they are still doing very well. But you could just tell that when he was there, there was a difference, absolutely. But seeing him in this Manchester City side, man, I'm so impressed. Honestly, I don't think there's any player that has really impressed me like he has done maybe in the last 1 year. Maybe I will also say João Pedro, but obviously he didn't come in January. He came in at the beginning of the season, because João Pedro right now is also scoring a lot of goals for Chelsea, especially since January, or should I say since January, since the new coach came in, Rosinho came in. City unfortunately has to take just 1 point from the game, but that's just what the Premier League is all about. If they don't cause upsets, just spoil point for you, what will you gain, especially if you're in the Premier League? So yes, it's a point for Man City, with Rodri getting the second goal, and then Gibbs White and Anderson scoring the 2 goals for Nottingham Forest. And then the last game obviously is Manchester United losing to Newcastle, even with Newcastle reduced to 10 men. The wonders of life. Now, don't forget that Manchester United's last match against Crystal Palace, they were down to 10 men, and somehow Manchester United won the game despite going a goal down. But this time around, it's not the case, because honestly, I felt like Newcastle were the better side. Even with the fact that there were 10 men playing in that game, they didn't look like they were 10 men. And should I talk of that save from Ramsdale? Wow. I'm sure even Zexi would just be like, which was what exactly he did. He was so shocked that he could even save that. But Ramsdale is not a bad goalkeeper, honestly. I feel like he's one of those good goalkeepers that he just has to be at Newcastle. I remember when he was at Arsenal, he used to play very well until Raya came and he had to lose his position. But as I said, that save just to ensure that it was still 1-1 was good, really, really good from Newcastle. And then who gets the goal for Newcastle? Osula. That all important 3 points. And should I say it was an amazing lone goal, because that ball came from across in Newcastle's half, and he literally had to do all the work. Right, he had to get the ball, run all the way into Manchester United's box, and that was an amazing goal from Osula. Really, I feel like the better side won the game, if I'm being honest. Yes, if the game had ended in a draw, I would have said maybe both sides deserved 1 point. But Newcastle played really well, despite the fact that they were down to 10 men. As I said, they didn't look like the side that were down to them, and I felt like Manchester United were really not in this game. I just felt like that goal that they got was just more of them being lucky. Honestly, I felt like they were just being lucky, and if they had gone on with the point in that game, it would have been really disappointing for Newcastle, because they played really well. But the better side got all 3 points, and I feel like the fact that Newcastle have not been really playing well in the league, especially they lost their last game, they felt that they needed to come back with a very good performance to have any sort of points, because they're outside of the top 10 right now and they need to get back into the top 10. So definitely that win against Manchester United was a big one, and Casemiro got the goal for Manchester United. Was from a corner, an amazing header. So Casemiro is amazing, right? When it comes to those sort of goals, yeah, that is definitely where you see Casemiro. But unfortunately, Manchester United don't pick up all 3 points, and they are currently still number 3 on the table, but they now share the same number of points with Aston Villa on 51 points, and Chelsea are right behind both teams in 48 points, and then Liverpool are number 6, also on 48 points. So it's goal difference that is literally keeping Chelsea in number 5, and then Manchester United in number 3. But yeah, those are match day 29 results for other teams and match day 30 for Arsenal in the Premier League. Share your thoughts in the comment section, what you think of the results, in probably Arsenal's game, Manchester City, and if you felt like they could have done better, and do you think that they can still mount that title challenge against Arsenal till the end of the season? Okay, share your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. It is absolutely free and it costs you nothing at all. Okay, it helps the channel to grow, and yeah, you guys can be part of this beautiful family of mine. So please subscribe to the channel. Also, ensure to put on your post notification bells to get our latest video when they drop, and follow us on all the social media platforms at _official FSH. Anyways, guys, thanks for joining me again tonight. There'll be matches, I think FA Cup at the weekend. Yeah, FA Cup, I think the round of 16. It should be happening this weekend. So it's until next week that we'll have Premier League games again. But yeah, until then, enjoy the rest of your week. Bye-bye.